Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. This week, we've got our eye on you. Seven is a badass. The EMH just might need a privacy mode, and there's dangers of Googling character names without actually knowing how to spell them. We're going to Freecloud to get a haircut at Mott's and go kick it at Quarks on this episode of Starfleet Underground.
Hey, good day, everybody. Thank you for joining us again here at Starfleet Underground. And if this is your first time, greetings. And if it is not your first time, welcome back. We have the special privilege of having the ambassador back to join us. Perhaps we can coax her to get more information about the artifact and also from where she's located now. The gang's all here, so everybody greet, starting off.
Hello. Oh,
hey, guys.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Good to see everyone. I got started early. I was excited.
It is very cool. Now, remember, this is the podcast where we do not let non-medical personnel work on your bio bed. So,
Don't touch that. If you're non-medical, leave that thing alone.
Do not touch. We're being brought to you by Section 31. Again, we have no idea why they keep sponsoring us, but as long as they keep the Federation credits going in, we're good to go. Now, Ambassador.
Yes.
Goody time. So what's been going on?
Well, I'm presently on an away mission exploring the Q, the continuum. And so I am here on an away mission at FARPOINT.
Ooh.
Where I am happy to say, not only am I here, but Mary Juffo, Anthony Montgomery, and Penny Johnson Gerald is also accompanying me on this away mission. And I have the added pleasure and privilege of working with Captain Pike here in Hunt Valley, Maryland. It's a great time, great people, and we'll get down to the bottom of the queue at some point.
Oh, I see that the queue has gathered all you guys there for some reason. As long as it's not nefarious, I'm good with that. Because we know how he is.
Have you seen Q on the Borg ship yet?
I have not, but we are continuing to investigate.
Oh, good luck.
Ooh. Sure, Q has got some plans. You know Q.
Absolutely.
Yep. Just like a toddler, he can't be bored.
And before the timeline is once again biased, we have got to nip Q in the bud.
Yes. Yep.
I'm happy about that part.
So that is the news from PowerPoint.
You have to admit, it's always a party when Q shows up, though. It's never boring.
He can't be bored. He's like a toddler.
Keeps you on your toes.
There's no party like the Q party.
Hey, the artifact. It's a cube. Q. It'd be perfect for him.
Oh, yeah. Q. There you go.
It's got the nice green party lights.
We believe there is a connection between the artifact and the continuum. Obviously, we want to explore and see what that connection is this far into the future. Think about that.
Yeah, seriously.
After all, it was Q that introduced the Alpha Quadrant to the Borg.
That's very true. Yes.
That's a good point. And if this is such a Borg-oriented season, that would definitely be interesting. You know what? That's season 2. That's why they're bringing back Guyan, because he'll be back in season 2 too, I bet.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering whether the Borg storyline is truly going to finish up this season or if they have it planned out as a multi-season storyline. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll come across a smorgasbord of facts. Don't shoot me. Sorry about that. It was bad, I know. And how about you, Heather? You have any news for us this morning?
I do have some news. So my news is from broadcasting and cable. Viacom, CBS is definitely expanding the Star Trek franchise. They will be producing new TV shows, movies, books. They're basically going all out to bring us all Star Trek all the time. So I am really looking forward to that. They announced this on Thursday when they did their earnings call. And they also said that the CEO, Bob, is that
Bacchus.
Thank you so much. I butcher all words. He said that the latest installment in the franchise, Picard, broke the record for total stream and subscriber signups for CBS All Access. So they are going to hit the ground running and give us more, and I'm really looking forward to it.
That is great news. You can't have enough track. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to have on their plate. Hopefully we will get that Captain Pike series. Ambassador, if you hear any inkling of that information, please send us a subspace wave and let us know.
If I am able, I shall. However, I do have a question. We're talking about a lot of Trek in various venues. Can there be too much Trek?
We'll let you know when there's too much. We'll totally let it. We'll let CBS know. Like, dude, too much. Hold on. No, we'll let them know. It's okay.
I don't know. I never thought I could have too many tribbles until I shared a ship with Fred.
Hey, happy to help.
There's definitely a lot of tribbles. I will say that one of them got in my deck slippers the other day. It was not a happy thing to wake up, put your feet in a slipper and have it scream at you. So that was not good. I'll tell you that. So, and again, once again, the EMH popped right there. Is there a medical emergency? Detected an elevated heart rate. So
that EMH, we need to deactivate him because my heart rate was elevated, but I didn't want him to come into the bedroom just at that time when that was happening. That was extremely embarrassing. That was horrible. It ruined my date night. So we need to find a way to deactivate him.
Oh, okay. Fred, you may have to edit his code on there. Remove that section, okay? Would not be good.
I think we could just adjust his normal office hours. How about that?
Right. Just take him off on Friday nights, Saturday nights. We're busy. We don't need him.
Or put him on voice summons so you can summon him rather for him to pop up all over the place.
When you need him to show up, you want him to show up. But when you're kind of, you kind of need a little privacy mode.
Right.
So what's been going on with you there, Fred? Any news?
Well, I did hear something interesting. There was one report that Viacom might be looking at potentially expanding CBS All Access and maybe merging it with some of their other material. Paramount,
I think I heard.
Yeah. So we might have access to Paramount's movie library.
Showtime.
Yeah. So it was all fairly general. I think it's more of an idea. I don't think they're ready to go forward with it. I mean, the idea sounds really neat. It would be nice to have all that extra content. Not sure what that'll do for the cost. I'm sure it'll go up a little bit.
Or maybe they'll have tiers. They might have tiers of membership. That's another way of cutting the apple.
This is
that's
true.
A good point.
Good point. True. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like with Hulu. They have different tiers. So that would be a good thing. Anything else you've heard out there in subspace there, Fred?
Oh, I did learn something important. Never talk to Klingon IT support.
You mean they didn't tell you to turn it off and turn it back on again? Did they tell you to smash?
No.
Have you tried begging it on the side 3 times?
Their first bit of advice was, have you yelled at your computer?
There you go.
Then the next piece of advice was, have you insulted its honor?
And number 3 was you had to use the bat lift, right?
Yes. Then number 3 was actually hit the computer.
With the bat lift, yeah.
Percussive maintenance is what we call that.
So the net result is you might feel a little bit better, but you'll need to buy a new computer too.
That's actually pretty funny. Your printer has no honor.
Bam. So again, don't consult Klingon IT support.
That's a good tip. Thank you. Rocky, what's going on? Any news with you?
Well, I just finally got this thing back from that little adventure I went on in the alternate universe where there was the Disneyland adventure, as it were.
Oh, that's right.
Check this thing out right here. Is not this the coolest? This is so cool.
Oh, neat.
Wow.
It's very handy. You know, it's not as random or clumsy as a blaster, but you can slice bread with it like nobody's business.
And it's toasted when you do.
Yeah, exactly. It one step toast. Yeah.
So you're ready in case any Tal Shiar or Zotvash or Borgs happen to show up? Or?
You got to be careful around the bulkheads. The bulkheads, if you slice them, you got to make sure you're doing it right the first time. Measure twice, cut once, especially around a bulkhead.
Wise.
Hey, Fred, I want you to get on there to see if you can put that thing through the replicator so we can have one for boarding party issues.
Yes, I want one.
So that will work. Any more news you have to share for us on that alternate thing you went to?
Well, no, I just really appreciated the crew over there. I mean, they call themselves the First Order, and they got a very nicely done ship. They're very, very effective. A little tightly wound sometimes, but they seem very nice.
Well, that was a plus then. That actually sounds like everybody had a good time. Yeah.
So did you make a quick getaway, Rocky, with the Falcon?
Yeah, they took me off to a nearby starbase or I guess you call it an outpost. And yeah, they had a nice little comfortable ship. It wasn't very pretty, but it was very cozy. And they had a nice little a gaming system inside to play chess and whatnot. So it was very cool.
Chess, not video games?
Well, I mean, video game. It was kind of holographic is what it was. It was kind of like our hologram technology. It was just a smaller scale.
Nice. Did they have Did they have the different tier chess that you see in Star Trek?
Only one level, but the player modules were different and varied.
They had to unlock the other levels. I got it.
Multiple pieces that you could,
I'm going to have to check that out when I get a chance. That sounds like it will be an awesome thing to look at if the rumors I've heard about it is true. So that's going to be cool. However, now comes the fun part. Oh my God. Have you guys seen the show?
Squeak!
What show?
Yes.
What show?
Have you seen Picard this week?
Oh, that was incredible.
There were a lot of twists and turns in that episode for sure.
And the way they opened it.
I saw it. I totally saw it. At least with half a face.
With half an eye.
Yeah. I had
you
an
saw
eye
it
for
with
that
one
first,
eye.
Yeah, it was pretty eye gory, but it was yeah.
Oh.
I know, I couldn't keep my eye off of it. My other eye was preoccupied.
So you're saying that the eyes had it?
I couldn't look away.
An incredibly dense episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Incredibly dense.
I will say I was a little bit sad to see Ichib come back to die in the opening scene. That I mean, I will admit I was a little sentimental about that.
I'm all for a comeback scene, but you got to kind of stay with it a little bit. That was a hell of a way to go out. I really feel sorry for the character.
Yeah, I like the way they did it, but in my head, the way that I'm thinking about it is the person, the actor who wanted to do it, he's like, nope, I'm not doing it. And CBS All Access, they're like, well, we'll pay you, $3,000 for one day of work and we'll kill you off in the first, say, minute. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, sure, I'll come back.
Very good acting, though. Very, very good acting. I mean,
oh, yeah, it was awesome to see him again.
Well, actually, it was a different actor that played him. It wasn't the.
That was a different actor?
It was, yes.
It wasn't the original.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I thought it was the original. Okay.
No, the original actor had issues on set as well as different conventions. He's been
so he
person
did say
non grata. No, he didn't. They didn't even ask him. He's person non grata at conventions.
Okay.
And
really?
Also, he put out some disparaging tweets, and we all know how that goes.
Okay, so that is true. Yeah,
he wasn't asked. Yeah,
so he is dead in their eyes.
That is correct.
Oh,
so that's why the
correct.
face looked a little weird. Is because they had to. Was that a person face, or was that something that they sculpted on?
No, that was a person's face, but they had to make him look like the original character.
Right, but then they had to do the thing with the eye too, so that way they could.
Yeah.
Well,
you get what's his name from Face Off? I forgot his name.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
No.
No.
John Travolta. Yeah. Okay. John Woo is involved, right?
God.
Yeah. Good movie.
But they're very good special effects people, and so I have no doubt they really found a way to make it look so real. as they did. So that part was cool. It really was, as was said, really was, as the ambassador said, a dense episode.
Yeah.
That's for certain. And you get a chance to see why Seven was the way she is.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, you can definitely understand, her motivation and her, determination to get revenge, too. I mean, it's very understandable why she did that.
He was more family to her than her family was when she was taken by the Borg. They had an incredible connection.
Yeah.
That's what she said, my son.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In Voyager, didn't she technically mother the kids when they brought the kids on? So he was there for the whole thing from the start. I mean, he basically came around the same time that she came on the ship.
He came
Earlier.
a little bit later, I think.
Right.
I'd have to go back and
But I mean,
check.
if you think about it, it's just a few years difference. So really, that's not, that's about the same time, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bond between the two obviously grew over the years. Yeah, and it was sad to see that. I mean, the character did have a life after Voyager, so he was a science officer. I didn't remember the ship that he was on, but they set him up, and unfortunate outcome.
And I read that there have been some novels written that kind of continued his story, so it might be interesting to track those down. And
I was going to ask if you knew what the basics were, what happened in them.
No, I don't. I just read that there have been some novels with. I think it kind of continued his career in Starfleet.
See, this is why every ship needs an android or a synth, is because we could ask them and we would find the information out immediately.
It's like having Google right next to you.
Right. Stop the ban on synths.
That whole scene really shows you just how merciless that woman was. I mean, you're getting an individual and you're harvesting Borg parts off of them and selling them. Obviously, there's a market for it. So that means there's a whole bunch of people out there who want Borg implants for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's a black market for Borg tech. I could equate that today to over here we got a copper issue. People will run out and grab copper out of abandoned buildings just to be able to take it to the recycler and make some money. It's not cool because you got other things will happen, you get your catalytic converter taken off of your Toyota Prius overnight, and they take it to go, change it up and get some money from that material. Meanwhile, you crank up your Prius in the morning and it sounds like a
tractor.
Yeah, it sounds like a monster, because there's no muffler on it now. Yeah, it's a horrible thing to have happen to you.
Yep, it's happened to me. So
it happened to you. How many Borg had to be rescued, though, for there to be a black market?
Well, you figure the artifact, when it was captured, certainly had some either deactivated or less than connected Borg. I mean, they were actually salvaging during the research of the artifact. That was one of the first pictures we saw.
Yeah.
What the Romulans were doing with those Borg implants was not clear. And
Well,
it is
they're
in
probably,
Romulan space.
Yeah.
A modern day equivalent to a pick your part. You go over and you salvage the parts you need.
But they have
Exactly.
probably 1,000 Borg maybe in total out there that was rescued and have turned, and that they can actually.
Maybe, but you've also got, by this time, it has been 20 years since the last time we saw the Borg, give or take. We've probably figured out the technology, how to make it useful to a regular person. So you say you need an ocular implant for some reason. Oh, we'll just go grab one from that guy over there. He's not using it anymore. I can see that. However, the criminal side of the thing, to take it out of a live Borg, is totally messed up and not cool.
I guess one thing that's not clear to me, and maybe one of you guys remembers, at the end of First Contact, which was the last time we saw the Borg, I don't recall how many Borg cubes were actually in Federation space or near Federation space. Because it's not clear how many Borg cubes are out there that they're salvaging. I wouldn't think there would be that many.
I think it is called the artifact because this really is the only complete Borg cube that has been captured in Romulan space. We are not aware of other full cubes that are under Federation control or Romulan control. So there aren't a lot of cubes in the Alpha Quadrant that have been captured. That is the intelligence we have received.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Ambassador, the last briefing that I remember is that what happened to that Borg cube was a singularity. I really need coffee. It's a one-off because that cube, thank you, because that cube somehow lost connection to the collective. And that's how they're able to do that without any other Borg coming to rescue it. So all the other Borg cubes that are out there that fall, they're still connected. And so, of course, they will come to rescue whoever is out there. But that one, for some reason, was severed from the collective. So that's why they're able to go through and do things.
That is correct, to the best of our knowledge.
Outstanding. See, I do pay attention. I just don't fall asleep during those meetings. So I do pay attention. So I'm glad about that part. And let's also talk about how badass Seven was. You just...
she was awesome. She is the best.
Yeah, she was just amazing.
To some extent, she took on the role of Starfleet in trying to protect those who could no longer protect themselves. As Starfleet withdrew, it was the renegades who are out there, including Seven, who took up that banner to try to protect those who could not protect themselves.
I mean, she was basically there cleaning up the mess that was left after Picard was pulled back and resigned. And, it was a very sort of touchy little moment right there when she said, to take over for people who have given up. I mean,
exactly.
Zing.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, to use another analogy, she's almost like a futuristic version of the Batman character. Someone that's out there trying to defend people that can't defend themselves.
Yeah. And did you guys notice too when Jay was talking about their personal relationship? It made me think that they were girlfriends. I don't know. Did anyone else catch that?
Some of Twitter caught that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that they had some sort of intimate relationship of some sort.
Yeah.
It obviously was a touchy subject.
Yeah. I guess it's not crystal clear, but it was kind of alluded to.
Seven, I mean, she really came down here and kicked ass. It looked like a scene from a Tarantino movie with two phaser rifles just
That's one of my favorite parts of all the previews is dual phasers kicking ass. She was so badass in the short little segments. She was just so good. And she's obviously become a badass. She's officially a Ranger.
How could you not love 7 and 9?
You don't want to be on her bad side.
No, you definitely don't.
No.
That is a badass Borg chick. Don't mess with her.
And she's a legend. She's a legend. Even they heard
they know
about
her. She is heard of in the parts of the galaxy. I mean, my goodness.
She's one of the few Borg from the Delta Quadrant. The other Borg that have been identified have been from the artifact in the Alpha Quadrant. She is unique in having come from the original.
Oh, so since they came from different places and Delta is like further out, does that mean that her equipment or her implants are more advanced or different? Or that's interesting.
I think they're different because she was a Borg when she was a child.
Yeah.
She actually grew into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so she's got more years of augmentation from Borg technology as well. Yeah, so she has more implants.
And her implants are still, fully functional, which is also special.
Exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of the Borg, items they're salvaging are from, dead Borg or deactivated Borg
right. Whereas 7, she was a child and then she was on the ship for 20 years. I mean, she was with the Borg for 20 years. So the whole time she was growing up to, an adult woman, she kept having implants put in, implants changed, updated. I mean, no wonder why she's filled with implants.
And even though they had so many of them taken out when she was on Voyager, she's, still got all those good, all the nanoprobes in all the right places.
Yeah.
I think when they did the surgeries to her on Voyager, it was more from a cosmetic standpoint. I don't think they per se attempted to remove any of the deeply embedded,
only
Borg,
surface level.
Yeah, so all that stuff would still be there.
So we had definitely on this episode, looks like we had 2 major deaths, or actually 3, but that person really wasn't a major character, even though she looked like a major character. What do you think about that, Heather?
Oh my God. So 2 deaths before the opening sequence. I mean, before this whole thing started. I was sitting there and I was watching it, and the gruesomeness of it and just the surprise of having that happen. For a second, I thought I was watching a TV show that was written by George R.R. Martin. I was looking in the credits and I was looking to see if I could see George R.R. Martin's name somewhere, because I'm like, he has to be involved in this somehow.
And was he?
It looks like it definitely was definitely interesting just to see that. I mean, also they gave us a kind of a trick, because remember in the previews where they were indicating that Seven was going to show up, she was holding someone and everyone was trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah.
But now we know it was Ichan.
Yeah.
A sad loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a sad loss.
Yeah.
And I really, when she went to kill the person responsible for it, I thought she was going to do a slow, painful way, like a Klingon disruptor, slow disintegration.
It looked painful, but it wasn't slow.
No,
Yeah.
She popped like a grape.
Yeah.
I think she just wanted her out of existence. Like, she didn't care if she suffered. She just wanted her out of existence.
Yeah. I wonder if
Yeah.
Deanna Troi, that was like her long lost sister, because she kind of looked like Troy.
Yeah, people were saying that on Twitter, that she kind of looked like her. I'm like, one brunette looks like another. I'm not really seeing it that closely. I thought her fashion sense was amazing. The costumes on her were great.
I'm curious if she was Betazoid or not.
Well, the other thing is trying to figure out how to spell her name before you got to see it spelled out on the Memory Alpha.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful what your Google search is going to bring up with you now. If you keep on typing Byjazl, it looks like something else. That there's a trend that was popular. I don't know if it's still popular, but if you're going to Google that, be very careful how you type it.
Right?
Yeah,
No
just
auto,
like
no autocorrect.
Yeah.
There is one trick to that, Rocky. Like if you hear a weird name in the show and you're trying to figure out how to spell it, turn on the closed captions. Go back, rewatch the scene with closed captions.
That's
on.
cheating.
I do that all the time. I do it all the time. By the way, Fred, going back to the Betazoid comment, she's not a Betazoid, she's a beta bitch.
That is true.
And a pro tip, if you're going to be Googling grandfather clock, do not forget the L.
Very important safety tip.
Voice is not a good search, I'll tell you that.
Oh, man.
Well, I got a really quick little giggle out of this. I was trying to figure out how to type in the name of the Rangers, the Fenris Rangers that Seven's with. And the first thing it autocorrected to was Ferris. So it corrected to Heather's last name. I'm
Are you serious?
Yeah, so you've got a place in the Rangers if you need it.
Shoot. I was telling them to block all of me out. I hate to say, just between us. No one else knows this. This is just between us. I'm actually the head of the Rangers, but it's a secret. And I told them to take my name out of there. And all they did was just change a couple letters. I was so mad.
Well, no one will figure it out unless they have to use autocorrect.
There you
Or
are.
to listen to the show.
Foiled by autocorrect again.
Now, how many of you guys got a kick out of Patrick Stewart really getting into his French character?
Oh my God, I love his. He was so damn
hilarious.
flamboyant. I liked that
That
a lot.
was hilarious.
Yeah, it was
Eye patch and all.
That was such a
Yeah.
horrible accent. It was so funny.
It was indeed.
How about Captain Rios?
Yeah.
That looked hilarious too.
He's all pimpin'.
I have an idea for my cosplay, that's for sure.
That's a pimp
Yeah.
right there. We got our first, Star Trek pimp
There's
right there.
gonna be a lot of pimps that cosplay this time. That'll be very easy. I don't have a uniform. What am I gonna go as? Dude, I'll go as a pimp. You're gonna get the feather in your hat. You got it.
Right, and then walk through the convention with an Orion girl on one arm and an Andorian on the other.
Yeah, you have it set.
That would be funny. Hey, when they showed us the first view of Stardust City, did you catch some of the little shout outs they had there?
It's
there was
funny.
a
The
sign
first thing I
for-
saw was Mott.
Quarks. I saw Quark's bar. Picard.
Exactly.
No, I saw Quark section.
Yeah. Mr.
Oh
Mott's
my God.
hair Emporium, and then
Yes.
Quark's bar.
Yeah, I want to go to Mott's Hair Emporium, get my hair did.
Exactly. It reminded me of Las Vegas in the
Yes.
20s.
Yes.
Yep. What happens on Freecloud stays on Freecloud, except herpes. Herpes doesn't stay on Freecloud.
Yeah, maximum security won't help you with that.
No.
No.
That's what you call a souvenir.
You know,
The gift that keeps on giving.
you know what I'm wondering about Stardust City? I wonder if there's a redhead chick in the future that was maybe busy making a video for Stardust Aces on how to play Dabo.
Probably having problems with YouTube over there, too.
Yeah, exactly. It is true.
Yes, YouTube still has a problem with gambling in the 24th century.
Well, okay, I just have to bring this up. This is my professor in me. The history of gambling, actually, it's been legal and illegal all through history. It's like a wave. It's really interesting. Okay, I will stop. Otherwise, I will go on forever.
Well, that's a
But
whole
that
other
is my-
podcast.
I know.
Now, there is something which we kind of was thinking about, and I'm not 100% certain. I want you guys' opinion on this. On the last part where I started to get the weird Oompa Loompa feeling when Picard was talking to Maddox and she was standing there listening. And then when she did what she did and she killed him, it gave me the indication, we still don't know if she's an undercover android, but she said something I thought was really telling. And she said it low, and I don't know if everyone else heard it. So I want your opinion on that. Yeah, when she said that, if you've seen what they showed me.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that would be when she was visited by the head of security.
By the Commodore.
Yeah,
Commodore.
Oh.
Correct. So she was the one, in all likelihood, who encouraged her to join the crew. She showed her something that so frightened her that even though she had strong feelings for Maddox, she let him die.
That is crazy. I mean,
it was horrible.
Seriously.
That completely went over my head because I'm sitting there watching that and I'm thinking that ex was just pissed that he went and had twins without her.
No.
No, she was a part of it.
That's one way to look at
if
it.
you listen to what she said.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like, unfortunately, it wasn't something fun like that. It was more serious Android stuff of some kind.
Because he also said something that was kind of telling. He said that we did it. Me, Sung Noon, and you, we all did it.
Right.
And, it's like, did you have a chance to meet her? He's talking about Dodge. So
correct.
Right. It wonders, it's like, was she made to help them or was she an android before? What part did she play in that? Was she,
here's the thing that really struck me about that, speaking of which, is he said he sent the twins to go find the truth. So one went to the Borg ship, one went to Earth. But when the one went to Earth, she was particularly trying to go to the Daystrom Institute. Well, why would she try to get into the Daystrom Institute to find out the truth if his girlfriend was already there and already working?
Yeah,
why didn't he just ask her?
There's some bad stuff
that's
going on.
That's a good point.
Because she did not know. She does not have the engrams that Dodge has. So she was to some extent innocent of the subterfuge that was going on. It was only with the Commodore explaining to her what they see as the potential future and the danger did she finally decide to help them.
Well, here's another thought, and this is just pure speculation, but maybe Dr. Jurati was aware of this, several years ago. Maybe she actually had a hand in corrupting the synthetics and programming them to go, haywire.
Go rogue.
And when Commander O showed up, she just kind of, reminded her of that and, sent her on her mission to join Picard's crew. So
I think it's a little bit more. I think it's more dangerous than that. I think it's more deep-rooted than that.
There is definitely some undercover stuff going on here, and I'm not talking about what's going on the artifact in Soji's bedroom.
Exactly.
So basically, there was something fishy about the doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Agnes Jurati is definitely not on the level.
Exactly.
Let me ask you guys this question. Earlier in the episode, when Jurati is all nervous about being able to successfully beam everyone back to the ship.
Yeah, why was she so nervous about that?
Yeah. The first time I watched it, I thought she was just nervous about operating the transporter because it's not something she does very often. But then when I rewatched it again, knowing what happened later, I thought she was nervous about what she was going to have to do to Bruce Maddox.
Yeah, that's obviously, when you watch it the second time, it becomes very clear that she's very anxious to be seeing Maddox again.
Yeah, like she obviously likes and perhaps loves him, yet she's been shown something so horrible that she knows she's going to have to kill him, and she was obviously conflicted.
There's a lot of huge conflict. She's very, very stressed out about it. I mean, the hologram keeps bothering her. You're really, really stressed out. What's going on, girl?
Exactly.
That's essentially what the emergency psychology hologram is trying to help you with.
So does anyone else think that the EMC is going to go and tell everyone like what happened, like it was her because he saw it?
It should.
She doesn't keep turning them off.
Well, that's what I'm curious about like how is next episode going to play out? Like there are two ways. Well, probably more than two ways, but two ways I can think of offhand. Either the EMH tells everyone else, or maybe she's smarter than we think and she can reprogram him to, I guess, delete those scenes from his memory. And
because they have memory, so he's going to remember that.
She's obviously has that advantage because if you're working on the Daystrom Institute, you know your way around a computer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe she's going to try to hide her real actions by somehow altering the EMH's memory.
Definitely, because the look on her face when she did it and the look on his face is like, wait, we're supposed to be a couple. What are you doing?
I mean, he was talking to her, proudly mentioning how they were perfectly imperfect.
Right.
Maddox did not see this coming. I don't know what Maddox has been up to. He's obviously, if he's dealing with Miss Byjazl over there, he's into some stuff, getting loans from strange people and getting caught up with a Tal Shiar. He's into some bad stuff. I mean, he's not just your innocent mad scientist with the androids. He's got some stuff going on.
And why did they stop talking to begin with? Like, why weren't they in communication?
Yeah, and I'm really upset we lost him that quickly because I thought he was going to be a very interesting character because of all the inside android technology that he's been involved with. And plus, the guy makes a good chocolate chip cookie.
Of course.
You can't kill a good cook.
Right. I really respect that. He doesn't want to just, get a cookie out of the replicator. He wants to cook the sucker. And then he sets them on fire, which apparently is how you cook cookies in the future when you're not using a replicator.
It's how I cook. I set stuff on fire, including my kitchen. It's the truth.
There's something about a chocolate chip cookie that is exactly burnt as much as it needed to be, but not too much.
Oh, you would love my food. All my food is burnt. Like everything is burnt.
That's well done.
Very well done.
Not on fire. He doesn't put them on fire. He bakes them.
Yeah,
there is a nuance.
She said he sets them on fire, which is the humor of cooking.
If you know my cooking, if you know my cooking, I burn everything. I can't cook. Don't ever eat my cooking.
It sounds like Dr. Jurati has heard your cooking. And your cooking.
It's just Cajun style food. That's all it is. It's not burnt. It's called Cajun.
I am so looking forward to the day we get a replicator and I don't have to eat my own cooking anymore.
I'm telling you, this episode, though, is just, oh my goodness.
I would want to just say that Seven is still trying to regain her humanity. Clearly, going back to the planet, even after the conversation with Picard, was something she had to do. She's still working on it.
Every damn day.
Exactly.
Yeah, every damn day is what you said.
But she's got a lot further to go than, say, even Picard.
Mm-hmm.
And bourbon straight up helps, apparently.
That was awesome when they mentioned Quark and how Quark gave him the references. I was wondering, does either Picard or Seven know Quark? Because Quark's from DS9, Picard's from Next Generation, 7 and 9's from Voyager. So could they have called in that favor?
I don't know. I mean, there was at least one Next Generation episode I can think of where the Enterprise crew did meet Quark.
Yeah, they did. That's where Cisco punched Picard out. because he felt he was responsible for his wife dying at Wolf 359.
What episode was that? I want to see that again.
That's like one of the first episodes that were out there.
Exactly.
The very first DS9 episode.
Yeah.
But there was another episode, and I can't remember the name of it. And actually, I think Riker was on the bridge at the time, and he was talking to Quark. He was trying to get some information out of him. I'll have to see if I can find that.
Oh, what about O'Brien? Because there's that connection.
True.
So they could have called O'Brien, and O'Brien could have asked Quark.
That's a possibility.
Well, also, the thing I'm looking at is, of course, you've got Quark's right there on Stardust. He's gotten franchised.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So not only, it's Quark's is the bar to go to, he's also the dude to get the inside connections with, because he's Quark, right?
Absolutely.
He would franchise that part of his business just as easily as the bar part of his business.
I could definitely see Quark in the entertainment capital of the galaxy.
Well, if you followed
sure.
Star Trek Online, Quark actually gets rich enough where he buys his own moon.
Oh my God.
He owns his own moon.
Quark moon.
From all the money and everything that he's made, all the gold press latinum.
Nice.
That's cool.
It's good to be Quark.
Cool.
Yep. However, not to switch up, we cannot end this episode without talking about Michelle Hurd's stellar acting when she went to go see her son.
Oh, yes.
What a dramatic scene.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was such a heart-wrenching scene.
There's so many minor notes in this episode, and that was one of them that was just like, what's going on with this? And so you really get more of her history in this part of the show. You really start to understand who Raffi actually is.
Right. Yeah, and what she spiraled to after the fact when he's talking about drugs.
Yeah. Well, she got so caught up in the whole scandal that she was investigating that it got personal. I mean, really deeply personal, that it affected her home life.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
She believed so strongly in Picard, in Starfleet, that she was blind to the impact it was having on her family. She was so driven by it. And then to find out that it all falls apart, and she turns around to see that the family has also fallen apart, was too much for her. So it's not just Starfleet abandoning the rescue of the Romulans and her having followed Picard, but it's the double whammy of having made that bet for something aspirational to find out what it has done to her family. It's too much for her to bear.
I wonder if those wounds will ever
That's really
heal.
hard to say, because
nope.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was really.
It looked really bad.
Reconciliation there.
Nah. Well, that's the thing. Kids that are abandoned, it changes their how they think. It changes their relationships. It changes all sorts of stuff. So it's not something that you just get over. It's something that makes you who you are. You carry it with you.
And it's obvious he's gone on with his life. I mean, he's got.
But he's still fundamentally angry. He is letting his emotions, and he, just like she, will have to get over the emotional prison they are in order to have a truly fulfilling life.
And you mentioned the line from last week, promises are prisons right there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Emotions,
it's an emotional prison. Yeah.
But sometimes it takes time, and it's an iterative process too. I mean, this apparently was their first face-to-face contact in almost 20 years, maybe. I guess I can't see them becoming like super close family again, but maybe some sort of relationship could be reestablished over a period of time.
Fred, the other thing I saw about that was she was saying how she got clean. And I don't think she's actually exactly cleaned up. I think she's still got some problems. I mean, she's on this mission and she's way into the mission, but I think she's still, just because she was hanging out on, near Vasquez Rocks like that, I don't think she's got it all set right.
Of course not.
Right. That whole interaction with her kid gives her great motivation for going with Picard and doing a mission that is,
obviously, going with Picard is the right thing to do, and that's a good way to get right.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, to see she's got a grandkid coming.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That might be the nexus for the son getting over his pain, and for her getting above her guilt. And especially if in fact what she's doing or what she may do will save or secure the future of her grandchild. So there's a lot. You never say never. I agree with Fred in terms of some sort of a reconciliation, but I think it's going to have to be in part stimulated or spurred by something equally dramatic as it was for the separation.
That's a good point. I guess one other thing I was
But we will see.
kind of thinking about, and it wasn't crystal clear to me. Do you think Raffi knew that her son was on Freecloud before she started doing the search for Maddox, or do you think she maybe stumbled across that fact and realized, hey, her son and Maddox are both on Freecloud, and this was kind of like a happenstance coincidence, and that's why she joined the mission?
I think she knew her son. I mean, remember, she's an intelligence officer. She could track anyone. I think that she knew her son was on Freecloud. Helping Picard and identifying that Maddox was there was her ticket to Freecloud to see her son.
That's adding up.
She didn't go down there for Maddox, right? She wasn't even on that mission for true. Maddox. She went to track her son.
Yeah, because you saw how upset she was when she discovered that Maddox was on Freecloud. Yeah. She's like, gotta go to Freecloud. Dang it,
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So she knew.
There was definitely a lot of breadcrumbs dropped in this episode that get tie-ins to everything that's going to be happening in the future. I'm really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I am as well. Hopefully it will not interfere with the investigation we're doing here.
Good luck.
Did you guys see Ready Room, and did you have anything that you wanted to talk about what was said or shown on Ready Room?
That kind of reminded me of a scene out of a horror movie. Yeah, like where something, bad is going to happen. Like someone's walking down this, dark hallway. And
on Ready Room, I did not see Ready Room. That communication was cut. Okay. What were the key elements that were raised?
They did a lot. They talked about Seven and Ichib. They had an interview with Elnor. They talked about the making of Mr. Vup, and then they showed the new trailer. One thing about the new trailer, they showed Soji as a kid. Oh, yeah. And I was curious because I thought she was made 3 years before. So when she was made, wasn't she an adult when she was made? So why is the kid
that was
shown?
One of those, is she actually dreaming a real dream, or is she remembering something that happened in a previous version if she's only really 3 years old, or is she simulating a thing in her head, or is it artificial? We're gonna have to get a little bit more when we watch that episode.
I'm looking forward to that.
Implanted memories.
Yeah.
And then I also just got a big kick out of Mr. Vup. I wish you didn't lose him so quickly, because he was freaking cool. And what a lovely singing voice he must have.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they would have kept him around. He would have been interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I like the interview with Elnor, too. And one of the things they were talking about with Elnor is how he is so naive.
Yeah, that's going to bring up some fun moments, I think.
Yeah.
He is not of the world. He's been living in a convent.
Yeah.
And a good example of that is when they're in the fight, he looks over at Picard. He's like, "Are we still pretending?"
Duh.
I'm looking forward to seeing him in action some more again, to see his skills. And he's going to definitely be a worthy person in the group. And I'd love to see the interplay between him being Candor and Seven, who's also Candor.
Yeah,
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know when we'll see Seven again, since she's at the end of this episode, a ship was coming for her. So she's probably going to be zooming off, although she did give that communication chip or something to Picard, telling him if he needed someone like her again, that's how to do it. But I think it's going to be a while before we see Seven again.
She dropped a little hint on Twitter, Jerry Ryan, that is, that we will see her again.
Oh, good. Before the season is up?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
That we'll see her, yes, but it's not going to be, I don't think, immediately.
What capacity? Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, we still haven't seen Riker yet.
True.
Yeah.
The official podcast, we actually interviewed Jonathan Frakes and Akiva Goldsman. Mm-hmm. If you guys have a chance to check that out, that was kind of fun to listen to hear Jonathan Frakes talk about, how many episodes they're doing and what it's like working with Patrick Stewart. And it's good stuff. It made me smile to listen to that.
Don't tell me you're actually listening to another podcast other than us.
I wouldn't possibly. I mean, I've got this thing over here too. So
Well, Rocky was
anyway,
just gathering intelligence. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
There's many sources.
Okay.
Joining those Facebook groups. I got it.
It is the quote unquote official podcast, so I kind of have to check them out once in a while. I didn't get any spoilers that time, so Heather might not want to listen to it. But
Well,
There you go.
ever since last episode, I have permanently had one of the temporal police and Section 31 both stationed in my apartment, and they have their own little corner that they don't move from. Although I do think they steal my food at night, because when I come in the morning, my refrigerator is completely empty, and I know I had food in there before I went to bed.
Are you sure that isn't someone from Klingon security making a nighttime visit?
I need to get this replicator over here. I'm sick of having this old-time fridge.
when you open the fridge, does it have a voice that sometimes says Zool?
No.
That's it. That's the problem. I knew it was the dog.
I think
Okay.
you need someone from Ghostbusters. That might be.
There's one thing that I did find out from Section 31, Heather, and this might cut down on the amount of visitors. You have to stop sleeping in the natural. Apparently, they fight to who's going to be over and watch over you that night.
Stardust City is so hot. I can't help it.
So
He
you're going
likes
to
to
have to
sleep
be
above
careful
the
with that.
covers. Yes.
Yes, so not good. That's why they're always in the corner and they fight to see who gets the duty. So be careful with that.
You know how we had those transport inhibitors installed in your quarters? The Section 31 has transport inhibitors.
Oh, those
So
bastards.
they're already ahead of us, so you can't work around that. So
That
you just got to be
figures.
careful what we say.
Oh,
You know, we might get some ambassador grade inhibitors if you're nice to our ambassador. I'm sure you have some laying around.
I will investigate that as well, but also you're going to have to make a request, and it must meet the criteria.
Oh, you have to make an official request. That's a lot of paperwork, man.
And the criteria, if you wish, I can let you know what the criteria is for getting one. It's not easy.
I could give you a tribble.
We have plenty of those. Thank you, Fred.
You got to let me know if that device you got there, that, what did you call it? A light knife?
Laser sword.
Life dagger,
A
I think is a sword.
Yes.
Whether or not
Yes.
if it works on getting rid of tribbles.
It's just slices them, and then you got small slices of tribble. It's just that's no fun for anybody.
It
And
probably
burnt
slices
fur.
them, and then you have two tribbles, right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, you just get just tribbles with singed fur.
Right. And they don't squeal anymore.
They're just kind of angry. Yeah.
That's scary, very scary, and totally illogical.
Yeah. You don't want to get into that kind of thing. Yeah. It's completely illogical.
I wonder if they ever make a Borg tribble.
A Borg tribble. Huh?
That tribble has a mohawk.
I have one with teeth in here, so I don't know what you've been doing, Fred. So I have no idea. Just be careful.
I saw Fred feeding his tribble some weird stuff. I think that's why we have the different variations around here.
Well, you know, the same old tribbles. I don't want people to get too bored.
Just don't splice your DNA with the tribble. That's all I ask.
And I know the tribbles that you're feeding Romulan ale to, or Romulan whiskey to, because those are the blue tribbles running around.
Hey, and they're in a good mood, right?
Oh yeah, they're swaying and swerving, and they're looking like they're having a good old time.
Party tribbles,
Party tribble.
Perfect for Freecloud.
right?
Hey, party tribbles. That would be a great idea for Vegas. The next Star Trek convention.
There you go.
Now we're beginning to head, unfortunately, to the end of our merriment. Do we have any, before we break out here, just checking over my homework? And okay, love. And love is always good. Don't forget to check out, well, First off, Heather, from what I understand, the problems you've been having with YouTube, you have a new landing spot for Vegas Aces. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
It's on Vimeo. I think you could search Vegas Aces. I don't know the exact address just yet. I haven't memorized it yet. But yeah, I'm moving all of my videos over to Vimeo. I've been talking to YouTube, and from what they tell me, it looks like my channel's going to be taken down. I'm trying to do a workaround with some people who has contacts, so hopefully maybe it won't happen. But from what YouTube is telling me, the support team, it does look like that's going to happen. So we are moving our videos over to Vimeo.
I mean, do you have all your videos backed up elsewhere? So.
Oh my God. The first time I got a warning, I sat there and I saved every single live stream, and I made sure I had every single video. And then I I screenshot every page with all of my numbers. Yeah, I sort of freaked out. So yes, I collected all of that information.
Oh yeah, because you have all those analytics that you just, that doesn't transfer over. You can transfer the videos over, but all those analytics are very important.
Right. Well, I just want the memory of, I used to have a video that had 500,000 views, and it's like, I want to remember that.
Yeah.
well, plus the comments that people left on YouTube, those don't copy over, right?
No, they don't copy over, and most of them, I would say 95% of those comments were really good comments, which you don't normally see in YouTube.
Yeah, it's not cool what they're doing.
That's just, I don't understand it.
Well,
are they doing this to other gaming related channels?
Yes, they are focusing on all gaming-related channels, poker channels, slot machine channels. A lot of people have had their videos taken down. A lot of people have had their channels taken down. And it happened in the past month or so.
And the rationale?
So they are saying that these are dangerous and harmful, and that we are selling illegal and illicit goods, and we are promoting online casinos and online gambling. And I tried to tell them, no, that's not the case. I'm an adjunct professor. I am giving away information. I'm giving away a free trade school. I'm helping people learn a trade school and helping them get a job. And this is for land-based casinos. I asked them to show me evidence, and they have not. They just keep saying that I'm violating their terms of service and I shouldn't be doing that. And this is what I get for doing that. I'm so mad that sometimes I want to share the email. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
Well, yeah, it's just a sad part of, everyone kind of expected this to come at some point, because when they start taking down your videos, it's not your video they're taking down. It's they're taking it off of their video. It's because they're serving it. So
I just need to move to Freecloud. I mean, Stardust City doesn't have these problems.
Totally.
I think some of it may have to do with the fact that YouTube decided to go the streaming route. So I think they're really frightened of violating some state random law somewhere.
So that's an interesting thing, because, the internet is the internet. It's worldwide. And the second you start putting laws on it, you really start messing stuff up, because one area may have a problem with gambling, but the entire world may not have a problem with gambling.
Well, like what I was saying before, in the history of gambling has been legal and illegal at various times in various cities.
It goes in and out of vogue. Yeah.
So how on earth can they handle that? When it's legal here in America, when there's land-based casinos all around, but online casinos are not legal. And then if they go to different countries, in some areas, it's not legal there. So how on earth are they supposed to do that?
Yeah. YouTube is doing a disservice for certain.
Yeah. Instead of handling the situation using a scalpel, they're using an axe, like one of those battle axes that you see in an MMO, and they're just chopping at it. They don't care.
So in that case, they should be going after vaping sites and everything else.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And they will. They definitely will.
So the legality of online casinos kind of varies from state to state.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
But see, this is what gets me. Your stuff is not talking about online gambling. Your stuff is talking about how to be a dealer and explaining the concepts of the game. Nowhere do you mention go to anywhere online, or nowhere in any of your videos you talk about if you want to beat Poker USA, none of that stuff.
Yeah. And I told them that. And I told them, show me where I say that. Show me where I'm, show me where I have a sponsor for, say Poker Stars. Show me where I'm promoting online casinos. Show me where I'm doing this stuff. Show me that I'm violating your terms of service.
Yeah, and you're doing at some point the opposite of that, because you're telling if you're from a player standpoint, you can watch your videos and learn how to play smart.
Yeah.
And so it's not promoting casinos whatsoever as far as, their agenda.
And every single time people ask me, my answer to them is, if you want to make money, don't play in a casino. If you want to, make a mortgage or a house payment, don't go near a casino. If you want to have fun and be entertained for a little bit, then yeah, sure, go to a casino.
How about you there, Ambassador? You have any information to promote?
Well, not really. I will be on another away mission. This time I'm going to the far extent of Europe and Southern Africa, so you will not be hearing from me for about a month. Communications will be down, unfortunately.
Well, feel free to send us a wave, and we can always report on your whereabouts and what's going on.
I shall certainly try. Thank you.
Have a great voyage.
Yes, safe travels. Be careful. Watch out for those Kling-ons. They like to party.
And they like to hang around you.
I will be watching out for the Klingons and the Romulans, as well as COVID-19 and other.
Oh, yeah. Plus, yeah. And Section 31, too.
And Section 31.
Section 31.
Yeah. Once they take a liking to you, they hang around you a lot, which is why they got the name Kling-on.
Even a Vulcan has to go at that one.
Well done, sir.
And if Cyrano Jones shows up wanting to sell you something, be careful.
Definitely. How about you, Fred? You have anything to promote for us? Any other podcasts or things you've come across?
I have a suggestion for the summer. In honor of the Picard series, I think they should serve some Earl Grey tea at Quark's Bar. I think that would be appropriate.
I agree.
Earl Grey
tea. You, Rocky?
You can hold the tea, but
but should it?
Well, you can always spike it with something.
Yeah,
it should be decaf.
Yes,
exactly.
Definitely.
I don't know. I got to go with the caffeinated.
Nah, decaf.
Caffeinated.
Yeah. So if I were to say one thing I've discovered, I'm getting a little bit of joy out of on Twitter. Voyager incorrect quotes has been giving me the giggles once in a while. They are quite humorous.
And we received some love from Jerry Ryan. Nathan got some Jerry Ryan love, too, on Twitter.
And Instagram. So
and Instagram.
Yes, I've been squealing like a bath toy for the last 24 hours.
And I thought that was a tribble.
So I know. So it's been pretty cool. I'm going to probably, after we get done, once I get some house stuff done here, I'm going to probably watch it again. It was a very, very entertaining episode this week. Now, however, for those of you out there, please feel free to send us emails at thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. We do read all of our emails and we do respond if it's appropriate. We also enjoy your comments. We're on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, where we have snippets of the show so you can get an idea of what's going to be coming up. So thank you so much for joining us. And remember, today's show was brought to you by Section 31. Now, just don't have a great week. Make it so.
Live long and prosper.
Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.